Hello, and welcome to the CDFA's Resilient Food Systems Infrastructure, or RFSI, Amplifund Application Process Tips and Tricks presentation. There are a few caveats CDFA wanted to address when applying through Amplifund and offer a few tips and tricks that may help ease the application process. We'll begin with a how to get started on creating an application in Amplifund. RFSI's applications must be submitted through Amplifund, an online application system. If you haven't already, to apply for an RFSI grant, you will first need to create an Amplifund account. This can easily be done by clicking on the link to the grant you would like to apply for on the CDFA RFSI website, whether that is the Infrastructure Grant or the Simplified Equipment Only Grant. The link will then open to the application in Amplifund. There are a few places that will allow you to create an account and/or log in. The first being the very top of the page to the right where it says Login. The second is under the title of the application. To the right, there is an Apply icon. And lastly, if you scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page, there is a second Apply icon. All three of these will get you to the Login or Registration page. If you have an account, use your credentials to log in and begin your application. If you are a new user, follow the directions to add your user information, contact information, and organization information. All required fields are noted with an asterisk. Once your information is complete, click on the Register button on the bottom of the page to the right. You will also have to accept Amplifund's terms and conditions. After accepting, you will be all set and prompted back to the application. Once you have created your account, you will be prompted to input your project information. You will be required to input the amounts you are requesting in addition to the amount that will be contributed as matching funds, either cash match and/or in-kind funds. Note, the matching funds are only required for Track 1 infrastructure grants. There are no matching fund requirements for Track 2 equipment-only grants. Our first tip is to please keep note of these amounts and remember them for further down in the application process, specifically when filling out the budget section. If this section and your budget do not align, you will not be able to submit your application, and it will prompt you to make edits to either section until they do match. A quick trick for completing sections. When you have completed inputting information in a section, you will have to scroll to the bottom of the page and click the Mark as Complete icon before continuing. This does not submit your application, it just marks this section as complete. If a page is not marked as complete, you will receive an error at the very end when submitting that a page is not complete. The system will not let you submit your application until you have marked each page complete, even if you have saved your application. The next tip is for the intake form. When filling out the application information on the intake form, it will ask you to provide your California Senate District and Assembly District number. If you do not know your California Senate District and Assembly District number and clicked on the link provided, you will receive an error that the page cannot be found. Unfortunately, the link provided in Amplifund is broken. If you do not know your California Senate District and Assembly District number and need the link, go to findyourrep.legislature.ca.gov or visit our Round 2 Q&A posted on our website January 12, 2024 for the updated link. This section also states that if your answer to the California Senate District and Assembly District is more than one district, select All. There is no drop-down option for All. Please just select the district that the project is located in. This next tip is for the application form. There are a few places where the application asks for an explanation or a brief description, but there is no text box. Specifically on the application form under Funding Priorities and Project Beneficiaries. We are aware of the issues and apologize for the inconvenience. CDFA has updated our request for proposals effective January 11, 2024. To indicate that the explanations and/or brief descriptions for these two questions are not required. Please still use the checkboxes to select funding priorities and identify/quantify the project beneficiaries where prompted. The next few tips are for the budget section. This is where we revisit our tip from earlier on making note of your requested amounts and, if applicable, matching funds. The budget requires that the amounts match those that were inputted in the project information section when starting the application. Ensure that these numbers match or you will receive an error when submitting. Your total grant fund request and your matching funds should be the same in both sections. The tip for this section is to ensure that the budget line items are properly categorized as grant funded, non-grant funded, or both. To do this, you will need to add a budget line item, select the appropriate choice under category and item type, input the name of the item and cost, then click on the drop-down for non-grant funded to select whether the item is solely grant funded or has non-grant funds associated with it. If that item does have non-grant funding, you will select Yes and input the amount that is non-grant funded in either cash match and/or in-kind match. This step for non-grant funding is specific to the infrastructure grant, as the Simplified Equipment Only grant does not require matching funds. As a reminder, matching funds can be both cash match and in-kind costs. Another tip in the budget section is a difference in verbiage in requesting information to be added in the description column versus the column being labeled narrative. These are intended to be one and the same. Please list the required information in the text box labeled narrative. The last tip is for adding external documents. Currently, the budget section is the only section that allows you to upload external documents. If any external documents need to be uploaded, you will have the opportunity to do so when you add an item to the budget. To do this, click on the plus sign next to the category you are adding an item for. A pop-up will prompt you to input information for the new item. Ensure that all the information is filled out for the new line item, then you will see a section for attachments. You may add your attachments here. Examples of external documents that can be uploaded could be a copy of your negotiated indirect cost rate agreement, letters of support, contracts, catalog pricing, binding quotes, etc. For letters of support, which are allowed but not required, attach them to any line item. That concludes the presentation for tips and tricks. If you have any additional questions regarding the application process, please submit those questions to grants@cdfa.ca.gov. Thank you.